So welcome everybody. Great to sit with you all. Let's just go ahead and get started with a sit tonight. So I invite you to close your eyes, and if you aren't comfortable with that, you can always look softly at the floor about 4 feet in front of you, just so you're not visually stimulated. And if you're someone who chooses to lay down for your meditation or mindfulness piece here, to just put a pillow under your knees so that your lower back will drop and you're comfortable. So just go ahead and get settled. And you can begin by just noticing how you are in this moment, just how your body is right now. Noticing any tension that might be here. And I invite you to check in with particularly your jaw this evening, noticing any tightness that's there, and also your belly. There may be some tension or tightness holding in your belly. And if so, I just invite you to gently breathe out this stress or tension on the out-breath. It's as if you could just breathe this tension out of your body. Just let it go. It's okay that it's here tonight. We just don't need to hold on to it. So we allow, and we allow it to go. And this helps bring us back into flow again, the natural flow of who we are. And I also invite you to notice your mind this evening, any tension that may be here. So there could be some stressful thoughts, or there may be racing thoughts. And if so, it's absolutely fine that it's here. Everything is temporary. But again, we just breathe it out on the out-breath. We don't hold on to it. And so we're just gently breathing out this tension, allowing our mind and our body to empty, to just empty from the day and all the stories we've been carrying. We can always pick them back up later if we want, but for right now, we're just letting them go so we can have a moment of ease. And we also include our heart in this emptying. So if we have any sadness or anxiety or loneliness today, it's okay that it's here. Again, it's temporary. But we just gently breathe it out on the out-breath, not holding on to it. No need to cling to it. And so with each out-breath, we're just emptying our system of all the extra energy, all the accumulated stress from today. And as we empty, our body softens, Our jaw softens, our belly. And we find more space and ease. And with all this stress and all the stories releasing, I just invite you tonight to just let yourself be here. Just be here, right here, in this empty space where it's quieter. And if there's extra energy in your body, you can just let it rise off or bubble off. And you're just resting in this quiet, empty space. Here. Just being right here now. Just now. Not going forward into the future. Not going back into the past. Just right here, where it's empty and quiet and peaceful. And I invite you to begin allowing yourself to rest here. What's it like if you let yourself just rest here? Let go of any tension in your body or in your back. Feel the spaciousness. And just allow yourself to rest in this spacious, peaceful, quiet, right here. Letting go of the stories and the day. And you can let this here get as big as it wants. So it's really spacious and peaceful. A beautiful refuge. Where you can rest and take nourishment. Heal. And come back to your natural rhythm. Who you are without all those stories and all that stress. Just this. Just here. Not going forward, not going back, just here. So, it's nice to stop it all for a moment. So today I had a number of calls and texts from people and reaching out on Facebook and various things, all talking about the debate from last night and people having all kinds of experiences with it and news items being flashed around, that sort of thing. And as I sat with it, I was watching just both in the people I was in contact with, and then just even seeing in myself these moments where something would flash across the screen and there could be this contraction. There could just be this contraction that would happen. And at one point, I got really clear that what I was seeing in people and what I was seeing happening in the news feeds was that everybody was getting reactivated over and over and over again. And what's important to realize is that that happened last night. That happened yesterday, and it's gone. It's gone. And what we're seeing in our society is people re-hitting it, and getting activated over and over again. And so I wanted to talk a little bit tonight. What it reminded me of was this story I had heard years ago about an old monk who was like an abbot, and he was traveling with a young novice monk. And it's an old Japanese story. And it goes that they were on a boat together and they came up on this dock area and it was muddied and had a puddle. And there happened to be a very rich, kind of snobby, entitled woman on the boat with them. And so when they got to the dock, she turned to these monks and she said, "I'm not going to get wet standing in the mud and stepping in. One of you carry me. You carry me over this mud puddle." And so the old monk picked her up and carried her over the mud puddle and put her down. And she didn't even say thank you. She just rushed off. And the young monk was really not happy about this. I mean, this was a very venerated old master, and he couldn't believe that she had treated him this way. And so the old monk didn't say anything, and they go walking for miles down the road. And the young novice is trying to be quiet and mindful and do his training, but inside he is just spinning and spinning and spinning and just going on about, and another thing, and she should have, and after a number of miles, he can't help himself. He turns around and he just blurts out to this older monk. He's like, "Aren't you pissed off? How can you stand that she did this?" And the old monk looks at him with a little bit of a, kind of puzzled face. And he turns and he goes, "What?" And she's like, "That woman, she was so rude and you carried her across and she was just so mean to you." And the old monk looks at him and says, "I put her down when I landed her on the other side of the puddle. And it appears that you've been carrying her for miles." Right? And so it kind of reminds me of that. Like there's a lot going on right now in our society where we keep carrying all these stories for miles and miles, and we keep re-hitting ourselves, and adrenaline goes, and we get mad, and we get agitated. Whatever's happening, we get afraid, whatever's happening. And so tonight I wanted to talk about the preciousness of just being here. The practice of being here. Living your life in this moment and letting go of yesterday, letting go of this morning, letting go of last year, and just bringing ourselves back to this moment. If you think about it, it's like when you try to, if any of you have ever been out hiking and you've come across a river, or a fast stream, and you have to cross it. I remember one time on a backpacking trip with Mark, I had this huge 50-pound pack. And we got to this river and Mark just looked at it and went across. And this was one of my first backpacking trips. This is a long time ago, 30 years ago. And I remember looking at this river going, "Oh my God, I cannot do this." And I looked at him and I was like, how did you do that? And he said, just do it. And I was like, I can't, I'll fall. And he looked at me and he said, don't think, just do it. And I probably stood there for like 5-10 minutes. And finally, it was very clear that he was not going to come back. So I had to figure something out. So there was just this moment where I cleared my mind. I emptied everything. Don't think, don't think. And I just stepped on the first rock and it was like, don't think, don't think. And I just, the next rock and the next rock. And the next thing I knew, I was across. And, you know, there are other times where I did think and I did worry and I fell in or things happened or I slipped or those kinds of things. But I got much better at don't think and just be here. This rock, this rock, this rock. Don't think about the next rock, just this rock. And so there's this power that here has where it can keep us safe. It's like being in the eye of the hurricane. And you're right there in the center of here, of now. And everything's swirling around, but you're not there or in the past or tomorrow. You're just right here. So I just want to practice this with you just for a couple of minutes. So I just invite you to close your eyes for just a moment. Okay? And what we're going to do is just play with this idea that we don't tarry because we could fall, and we don't rush ahead because we could slip, but we're just here. So I want you to just take a moment to just do a couple of breaths, breathe out any thinking that you're having, any thoughts, and take a moment to just stop. Just stop. Stop everything. And just be here. And let this here be empty. And as you're here, don't go forward into the future. Don't go back into the past. There's just this stop here. And take a moment to let yourself rest here. Begin to rest right here. You can let go of any tension. If your mind starts, just stop again. Empty. And just here. Just now. Don't pick up anything. And you can let this empty space get as big as it wants. And notice if the here gets very big, how spacious, peaceful it feels. You could just float here. Here's a quote by Thomas Merton. You do not need to know precisely what is happening or exactly where it's all going. What you need is to recognize the possibilities that are offered in the present moment and to embrace them with faith. You do not need to know precisely what is happening or exactly where it's going. What you need is to recognize the possibilities offered in the present moment and to embrace them with faith. In this quote by Jean-Paul Sartre, I fix nothing. I let it go. So you guys can unmute yourself, and just wondering, what was that like to just kind of come into the now, to just come into the here, not go forward, not go back, but just right here. So I can't see everybody, so I'll just ask you to unmute yourself.
That was
Oh, who? Go ahead and unmute yourself again. Sorry.
that was wonderful. It was just so relaxing and so opening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hope you'll post this as soon as possible. It's recorded.
I'll try. Yeah. Other people? And again, all experience is always welcomed.
It was a novel. It was an existence in process, constant process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Tom. Yeah, there's this potentiality, this sphere of potential. Yeah, who's that? Was somebody else speaking?
I just felt one step beyond.
Uh-huh. One step beyond The beyond or beyond everything?
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. That's great. And hopefully you could feel the ease that's in it, right? We didn't change anything about the world. The world is still chaotic and still doing its thing. But this moment, this place of here is so potent, so beautiful that we can absolutely be at ease and rest in it. It really is the eye of the hurricane. It's like, it's like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, right? Everything's flying by the window. Everything's going chaos. And you're just there and it can't get you in that moment. Now, the moment you step forward into the future or the past and you grab, then it grabs you, right? So the moment you think, phew, there's the stress, right? So it's in that grasping that it happens. So if you can just, like I said with Jean-Paul Sartre, I don't fix anything. I just let go. I just let go. And we talk a lot about resting in essence, resting in our quiet, essential nature. We can be in that in the middle of any storm that comes. So it's a wonderful practice to take forward, particularly as we go through these next few weeks. The next month here, will probably heat up, And so, one, if you're in the here and you're clear and you're resting, you're not suffering, you're not as stressed. Number two, you're not contributing. You're not contributing to it. Somebody put up a meme the other day on Facebook and it said, Lord, grant me the wisdom to not respond. It was like a play off the 12 steps, right? Please let me not respond. Because we just jump in and we feed it all, right? We just keep it going. So, yeah. There's this quote from, many of you know it. The butterfly counts not months, but moments, and has time enough. Right? So that idea that if we just stay in this moment, this moment, this moment, what's in front of me right now? Oh, make lunch. Just stay with lunch, not make lunch and watch the news and get pissed off and yell at your television and, just make lunch. Just stay there. If you're going to watch the news, that's fine, but, maybe take a bite and then take a step back, something like that. So I hope that as you see these replays of the debate, and they're going to string this out for as many hits as they can get, right? That you just ask yourself, are you being here or are you in yesterday or maybe 2 days from now or 2 days behind us? And just ask yourself, am I being here? Because it may just be enough to kind of pop the trance for you and you settle back into the now and, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm at ease. I'm okay. I heard a lot of people today getting really worked up about the revolution that's going to come, when the election happens, right? And people just really working themselves up. And it's like, okay, we're a month out and you're really getting worked up here. And the world's going to do a lot better if many more of us keep our seat and don't feed that kind of fear and stay centered, stay at ease. And if stuff blows up, here is the safest place you can be. It's the safest place you can be. I mean, think about it. Like if you've ever been in a car and you skidded out on ice or something, right? Many of you have probably had that experience where suddenly you freak out and everybody says time slowed down and something took over and something was pumping pedals and, doing the drive, and all of a sudden you didn't go off the side of the road, right? When we fall back into essence, into our essential nature, in the present moment, we are in the safest place we can be. It's the same for anybody who struggles with alcohol or substance abuse. They will tell you, sometimes I'm getting through one day at a time, but most likely it's one moment at a time. It's just, don't pick up for this moment. Don't pick up for this moment. And by doing that, you can string a whole day's worth of moments and you didn't drink or use. So the here is like the safest place we can be. And so I just want to invite you to this idea, to start cultivating this idea that here is the safest place you can be, all through your day, all through your day. And when that happens, what's so beautiful is that when we're not caught up in later, in the past and all of that, we get to see what's right here, right now, the beauty that's right around us. So I just have a couple of quotes. You know, the Japanese have so many great quotes about how this all works. After the leaves fall in the village at the foot of Ogara Peak, one can see through the trees, and the moon shines in the clear. Right? So for the Japanese, all those leaves, they're all your thoughts. They're all your thoughts. And if they're crowded up, you're not going to see the moon. You're not going to see the moon. And here's another one about difficult times. Over the railroad tracks. So this is a place of poverty. Over the railroad tracks, wild geese fly, low on a moonlit night. So here is this person in a place of poverty, railroad tracks. And because the mind is clear, oh, there go the geese and the moon and the beauty that's right here. And we have this beautiful full moon that is just coming into play over the next 24 hours. And I hope you don't miss it. I hope you don't miss it. I hope you're not stuck on your device swearing at somebody, you know? It's like, go outside, there's a beautiful moon tonight. It's rising, it's going to be gorgeous. But unless the leaves are falling, you're not going to see the moon. It's going to be way crowded inside. So I invite you to this beautiful practice of here, breathing out tension, let go, right here. And let's all be in the here together. Let's all go out and look at the moon tonight, and we'll all have it together as a community. There'll be a number of people not caught up in the big story out there. Yeah. So, any questions or comments or anything?
This reminds me, I think it's Thich Nhat Hanh, who said, when you're walking, be aware that you're walking.
Mm-hmm.
When you're eating, be aware that you're eating, and so on.
Yeah.
And that pops in as you're talking. It's the same idea. Just be present.
Yeah. He also talks about walking as, can you walk with the intention that each foot that comes down on the earth is literally kissing the earth? So it's that kind of intention, that kind of sweetness and softness to it, right? It's not just, oh, I'm here for this step, which is beautiful in and of itself, but what if that step were kissing the earth, and then that step was kissing the earth? How would your walk look then? It would be quite sweet and nourishing, I would imagine, you know? Yeah. Anyone else?
Yeah, me.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Hi,
Good
me.
evening, everyone. I really like that a lot. It's reminding me of Eckhart Tolle,
Mm-hmm.
the power of now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where all the power is right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in the past. It's not in the future.
Yeah.
It's in this present moment.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I can stay there sometimes. I've been doing a lot of fixing the last 3 days,
Mm-hmm.
and when I heard John Paul Sartre's little comment there, I let it go.
Yeah, beautiful. I
I
don't,
couldn't fix it. I couldn't fix it.
there's
It was
not,
a mess.
yeah,
So
exactly.
it is what it is.
It is what
I
it
don't
is.
like that saying, but that's what it is.
Yeah, it is. And, again, if it's hard, start, I'm always doing this piece where start where we are, right? Oh, agitation, this is what's present, right? And then this bubbling or allowing the energy to start moving, breathing it out. We have to empty sometimes before we can find that now, that here. So don't worry if you have to breathe out for a few minutes. That's just part of the emptying process. That's the letting go. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else? Okay. So, yeah, so I hope that you can keep this idea of here with you now. If you love Eckhart Tolle's teachings, now and here are the same place. It's the same thing, right? And he tells this wonderful story. I think it's in one of his books, where he was in a restaurant and he was eating one night, and a very disruptive person came in, like really mentally unstable, very disruptive, and the person started tearing the whole restaurant apart, like literally throwing tables and chairs and plates at people. And Eckhart Tolle just sat in his little corner of the restaurant, and he just stayed in the here, in the now. And he just kept eating his meal and did not get involved. His mind did not go out towards. And as he stayed here, and for him, this here has a lot of compassion to it as well. The man was yelling at him, like, "Who are you?" And what was so interesting was that he could see Eckhart Tolle, but he couldn't bring himself to hit him with a plate or throw anything at him. And so he was really safe in the here. And then after the man got arrested and, taken away, the restaurant staff was like, "Yeah, who are you? Like, what, how come this guy didn't come at you?" And it was as if there was almost like a force field that the man could not pierce the here, the now. Yeah. So sometimes, if any of you have ever been in that kind of an attack situation and you really got still, you may have had that experience where suddenly it kind of fell off or fell away. And you're like, "Oh, okay, that was a good place to hang." So let's take a mindful moment where we just share this intention. We don't keep it just for ourselves, but we share this intention. So you can just close your eyes for a moment or get comfortable. And just take a couple of breaths, breathing out, emptying, and just let the mind stop. Just stop. Don't go forward. Don't go back. Notice the empty quiet of here. The stillness. And may our practice deepen our own release, our own freedom, our own safety. And may it ripple out through our life to inspire others, to hold others, to create calm spaces around us. And may it ripple beyond to all beings, so that all beings can know this peace of here, the safety of now. And may all beings open to a brand new consciousness so that we can create a world of peace and safety, compassion, a healed planet, and human beings who don't have to get caught up in fear, where we can all live as true community.